Walter?
Dwight, the pool use of the scholarship fund has not really evidenced itself yet.
Correct.
I mean, and
Not even know.
if, I'm sorry?
I think you said a little bit. That was the case last week, but then this week, you're now saying that there's
Well, there's
more
some, I have that on the slide
Just a
there,
little
but
bit.
we still have a considerable more, it's on this slide, that will show. And that was what I said that I forgot to look at just before I came over. But it seems like it was $4,000 or $5,000 last year.
yeah.
So.
So the reason for my question or statement to Dwight, when I used the word really evidenced itself,
Yeah.
was to ask if I'm reading it that if we do nothing, this thing could be up in the approaching $30,000. It would appear, because the 18,000 cap we had for October 1, we're going to hit it in, $1,275, which you added how much? What, $5,000 in the last 2 weeks? From April 30 to May 17?
Yes.
So I certainly think that we need to, at a minimum, cut it off at 18. And whether that's fair or not, the people that didn't get early enough or because they happen to be in the swim business and not the camp business. If I may, a question for Dwight on the same topic but a different subject. Is there a non-invasive staff, high energy or high effort way to provide a needs-based check on people that request scholarships? And again, that's not the best phrasing of a question I've done, but it's close enough. I think you understand what I mean.
Yes. I do not have a slide on that, but I do have the information, and the answer is yes. There's several things in the works right now that the school district, farmers market, a lot of things already use. The school district has a free and reduced meal program where they get a letter from the school district that they get a free or a reduced price at their lunches. And talking to the head of that program, she said that if a lot of times at the end of the school year, people will just chuck that letter. They have to get a new one for next year. But she said they're still on the list. She would provide them a letter, official letter, if they need that. There's the WIC program, which is Women, Infants, and Children Food and Nutrition Service. And they just show you a card. There's the EBT, which is the Electronic Benefits Transfer. Basically, I think this took the place of food stamps, and it's just a card. And then there's also SNAP, which is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which is also a card. There's 4 easy ways. If you are in need and you have those, it's just pull your card out and show us. And to me, that's already a proven case of need.
And these people that have those cards are used to pulling them out and showing them. In other words,
You're at the grocery store.
yeah, using them where they need to ask financial assistance. So asking people to show financial need and assistance through the scholarship program shouldn't be any more of a burden on the individual requesting it than where they use the card elsewhere. Is that true?
I would say that's correct. It's probably also no more burdensome than coming up and just asking to begin with. It's just a card, just show it. They still have to ask. So I don't think it's not abnormal either.
And in your case, you're not standing in a grocery store line doing it. You're in somebody's office at the Parks and Rec.
Yes.
And lastly, on the same topic, do you consider this to be burdensome on staff if this were to be put in place either now or October 1?
No.
Thank you.
Dan?
I'd like to make a motion that we limit the scholarship program to $18,000 for the rest of this year, with the caveat that any donations that come in can push that over that $18,000 limit. I mean, the city will pay the.
Be added to.
That'd be added to that 18,000. Is that clear?
Which is
now?
how we have it for the fiscal year 14.
Okay.
And are you talking hard costs including the pool, or
Yeah,
not including the pool?
Yeah, because, we didn't jump on that bandwagon as far as the pool costs. So I think that just $18,000 and then whatever donations adds to that total as far as the total that we allow for the program.
So we already have like $1,000 donation and.
So so we're up to
So we're already
19
up
or
to like
19.5 or
20,000.
whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah, that would probably work. I'd second that.
And just, if I could, please.
Just wait.
The $1,000 that was just donated today would be included in the 18,000.
My motion says that's above the 18,000. Any
Okay.
donations go to.
Donations in addition, okay, that
Are
is
in
different than
addition
the
to
fiscal
the
year
18,000,
14 then.
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And perhaps would change the 14 deals. Is that clear to you guys, what I'm saying?
I was fine until Dwight said that's not what 14 is.
14, we had an $18,000 cap.
That was it.
Anything that came in prior to that was just part of the 18,000. And when we got to that, then we were to come to you with anything additional to ask to extend the program. Because the program effectively ends at 18,000.
So, if I may, Dan, are you proposing effective immediately a policy change that would then revert to our already passed policy as of October 1?
No, this would be, it's a change to limit the city's contribution to the program at 18,000. And then any donations are
On top.
added to that.
And
And I'm not saying that's changing 14's program. I mean, we'll have to talk about that later possibly, but this is for 13.
We're not talking about that.
Just 13.
So 14 stays as passed.
14's as it is. If we want to change it, we can talk about that later. I'm talking about 13.
This is the remainder of FY13.
Remainder of 13.
So we
My
have,
understanding.
we have Dan's motion, we have Tom's second, and I'll invite more discussion. Tim?
Thank you. Discussion. The camps are what have got us into the predicament we're in right now. And a lot of that is because the camps start sooner, or have to be signed up before people get interested in swimming. I like Dan's motion. I'll vote for it if I can't get an amendment across. I'd like to see us hold the camps, the continued spending on camps, to where we are now, and add a little bit of money so that these individuals that want to go swimming during the summer and who can't afford it can take advantage of the scholarship program.
You'll have to rephrase that for me, Tim. I'm pretty dense here, apparently.
So Tim, are you saying?
Let Tim
Okay.
do that, please.
Well, what I would hope, since the camps got us into this predicament, is we hold camp costs now to where they are.
There were no more camps.
No more camps, and we add a little bit of money to swimming, so that, I mean, we're at $1,000 right now for, or about $2,000 actually, I guess. And I mean, the pool isn't even close to being open. And so you can, just like you said, last year we generated about 4,000 in swimming.
I think that's close.
Yeah, one more camp guy, and there won't be any swimming opportunity.
Would you like to?
If I may.
Please. go ahead.
Remember that one of the recommendations that staff brought to us, though, was that the pool passes are actually soft costs. They're not hard costs. And they actually originally were asking us not to include pool passes in
Right.
that budget.
Well.
Nothing to say that we can't look at something like that. I think we need to look at the camps really, really hard. And would you back up, Dwight, your one slide to the total number of families and individuals that we have? I think it was 36. We've got 36 families already. And just quick math tells you that if 36 families And for 2014, we're saying a maximum of $500 per family. That would put that at $18,000, assuming each of those 36 took the maximum 500. What I'm leading up to is I'm not encouraging any changing in the 2014 policy tonight, but I do think we're, in light of what's going on now, we do need to look at that. I'm not ready to back up Tim's amendment right now, though. I think he's got a point, but I'm not comfortable doing that yet.
Okay. And he hasn't actually put it forward as an amendment. Looks like Dwight has something to say.
Just part of that, if you were to consider that, and that is, what if a donation comes in that's specific, or they don't want it to be specific? So, for example, the $1,000 that came in today
That was for swim lessons.
for swim lessons, but what if it was for camps? And we've just shut that down.
And it would be for camps.
Yeah, I think that should be, I think staff's got good enough judgment to be able to do that, and,
Okay.
without us having to,
Although,
Well, but I mean, if it's
Specifically-
policy, I don't know that we've got that
I
kind of
agree.
leeway, but
If it
Yeah.
comes
if
in
you
for camp,
leave it open
I
to us.
agree. If the contribution comes in for a camp, it ought to go to a camp. My only attempt here this evening, ladies and gentlemen, was to give the swimmers and the swim lessons people a fair shot at the money, and they've just gotten killed.
I agree.
They got
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
they came to the game late, and there's no money left. And personally, I think they are owed an opportunity.
And then remember, too, that there's just barely over $1,000 left
Yeah.
to the 18,000.
I'll rest my
And-
case.
let me just add one little wrinkle here to this discussion, if I may, and that is that
Going
these.
to help or hurt?
Well, I think it may, I don't know, it'll complicate it, I think. Some of these, the opportunities in the pool and the swim lessons save lives. And just because you're poor doesn't mean you need to drown this summer. And so I'm just thinking, we may have some obligation as a public good to provide for some resources.
So if we vote for this, we're saying the kids just need to drown? I represent that.
Right, and that was ill phrased, but what I'm saying is that swim lessons and opportunities to be in the water can be life-saving, and that is a concern. Whereas I think summer camp might keep kids out of mischief, but it may not be as life and death situation. Wayne?
Well, the more as I think about it, we've only got $1,000 left approximately till we hit that 18,000. I'm more inclined to, if you want to make an amendment to the motion, to second your amendment and cap them right now on the camps, other than if scholarship money comes in directly for camps. So if you make the amendment, I'll second it.
Tim?
I'll offer an amendment to Dan's motion that we limit future spending this year on scholarship dollars to where we are now, unless
On camps.
for camp.
On camps.
on camps. What did I say?
You just,
Yeah, you're
there. Unless a contribution is made specifically toward a camp, and that we raise the amount of dollars remaining in the scholarship for all other areas other than camps.
Don't complicate this amendment, Tim. Just make it simple.
we can just make pool passes unlimited.
Well, but there's other programs besides pools. I was just going to
Your amendment was to cap
Camps.
camps.
the camps, period, unless, other than specifically identified scholarship money that comes in for it. I think that's all we need to do on the amendment.
You don't want to
That wasn't what he
establish
was
Tell
saying.
you what, you want to do that simple amendment and see how it goes, and then if you choose to do something more, have that
You've
conversation.
talked me into it.
Did I? We have Tim's motion
And Wayne second.
and Wayne's second. Okay, discussion of that.